Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another Stranger Things update. So today I'm talking about how it seems like we've got a filming start date finally announced. On top of that, all the Stranger Things cast and crew have been in Atlanta recently, and the Duffer brothers have talked about what they expect in the final season. Before I get into this update, though, be sure to hit that like button. It helps out more than you guys know. Drop your Stranger Things 5 predictions and your thoughts on this news down below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot as I'm trying to make that final push as we approach the end of the year. And go show some love to the Unusual Couple podcast for weekly episodes where we talk Stranger Things, Marvel, movies, all that stuff, and more. So the other day, Deadline dropped an article that says Stranger Things sets January production start for 5th and final season. Now, every time I talk about a Stranger Things 5 filming update, I gotta run down the original filming schedule. So before the actors and writers strikes, they were set to start filming in June of 2023, which is this past summer, and they were gonna film for almost an entire calendar year into the following summer of 2024. Obviously, the actors and writers strike ended up delaying all of that, but since the strikes are now resolved and the actors and writers have made their fair deals, since November, the Duffer brothers have been back at it with writing and getting everything prepped so that they can film as fast as possible. And in the span of only 2 months, it looks like they're gonna have everything ready to go in January. In fact, this Deadline article gives us a date for when they're gonna start filming likely. According to multiple sources, Monday, January 8th is a target start date, with January 5th also being mentioned. Now, January 8th was gonna be an important date to me because that's the College Football National Championship, but my team is not in the college football playoff, unfortunately. They still got 2 rings the past 2 years, so we're good. Go Dogs. But I'll take Stranger Things 5 filming over a national title. It's also worth noting that a lot of cast members have been in Atlanta, with Millie Bobby Brown posting a picture in this Barnes & Noble that's definitely somewhere in Atlanta. As someone who lives in Georgia, I might have even been in this Barnes & Noble. Ross Duffer also posted on his Instagram story that they've been in Atlanta, and it seems like all the cast and crew are getting settled in for a long shoot. The article also says table reads are slated for the next couple of weeks before cameras start rolling after the new year. So I won't be surprised if by the end of this year we get an official table read video, much like a lot of TV shows do for the final season. So if the show does start filming on January 8th, we're only a few weeks away from that filming, meaning we're only a few weeks away from some likely set pics leaking, but set pics are inevitable. And Ross Duffer's Instagram story has honestly been the place for a lot of news. Obviously, the Stranger Things writers' Twitter account has come in clutch as they've been showing us a bunch of previs gifs and sort of behind the scenes at what they're doing to prep for season 5. Well, Ross Duffer's put some interesting stuff on his story since last time I made an update video. One of those is a picture of a camera, and he says, "Camera tests getting closer." The next one says Friday 12/8, which is already passed. They did a 9:15 a.m. camera test arrival, and at 9:30 a.m. they did a camera test for Hopper, Nancy, Lucas, and Dustin. He obviously posted his Ross Duffer director's chair, a picture of a bike, a picture of what a shot could potentially look like. So Ross Duffer's been keeping us updated with behind the scenes stuff. I hope that continues as filming begins, but I bet he'll have to, pull back on the reins a little bit because they have to refrain from spoiling too much as it is the final season of the biggest show in Netflix history. So all this speculation about when they're going to start filming can be put to bed because it looks like January 5th or January 8th is the official start date for filming of the final season of this hit Netflix show that we all know and love. But that's not all I got to talk about today, because the Duffer brothers also were interviewed in an article where they talked about what they envision season 5 to be like and how they perceive it all going down. So in this article they were interviewed, and they equate the final season of Stranger Things or any TV show to a football game, specifically an American football game, where the entire time your team could be winning, but if they stumble at the 1-yard line and fall just short, people will only remember that as opposed to all of the greatness that built up to it. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but that's the gist of it. The article says the 9 hours that precede the ending can be amazing, but if you stumble at that 1-yard line, people will never forgive you for that. And they'll forget the previous 9 hours of awesomeness. So it's amazing what they will forgive if you score a touchdown at the end. This obviously is saying if season 5 is a little rocky along the way, if it sticks the landing, that's the freshest thing on someone's mind, and that will overshadow any of the mistakes made along the way, as opposed to enjoying the final season and then the ending stinks, something say like Game of Thrones, hopefully it's not that bad, and then it just derails the entire thing. That would be a disaster scenario or a doomsday scenario for season 5, but I doubt they're going to go that route. I trust the Duffer brothers. In fact, they said they're not consulting social media for this ending. In this article, they talk about how there's no way you can please everybody, and so having that mindset of understanding not everyone will be pleased was helpful. They say there's an 80% failure rate, but one very particular way to fail is to attempt to appease everybody. We have a huge variety of fans that span a huge age range, and I'm sure they all have their own ideas of how they want the show to end, but we're not consulting social media. Then you just hope and pray it resonates. But it was funny. Once we got there, it just felt right, and we said we're going for it. So it seems like they found an ending that you're happy and satisfied with, and even David Harbour was interviewed once and said he knows the ending and he likes it. They swing for the fences. So I am very curious to see how the show ends. I know we all are, but I have faith in the Duffer brothers. They've gotten us this far. I don't think they would want to sabotage their own work. It's kind of like the MCU. With Endgame and Infinity War, you just kind of had to trust Kevin Feige and co, and they got the job done. That's a lot how I feel here. I'm very confident they will stick the landing. Now, in terms of what we can expect in Season 5, I've made a lot of videos talking about that and how they're going back to the Season 1 dynamics with character groupings, and this article further solidifies that. They say that Season 1 is like Season 5 on steroids, which makes sense because they go on to talk about how this is the biggest in scale by far, and that's been a talking point for them in interviews for years now. Whenever they've been talking about Season 5, they say it's the biggest in scale by far. Even David Harbour in his interviews for Gran Turismo said, this thing is the biggest in scale, it's going to take a long time to shoot, and it's just massive. And that's what we can expect with the final season of Stranger Things. They've built up this world over 4 seasons to be massive in scale, and so it only makes sense that this final season is huge. The article goes on to say it's been really fun because everyone's back together in Hawkins, the boys in 11 interacting more in line with how it was in Season 1. That excites me. Again, further proof that they are going to those Season 1 character groupings, something that's been sorely missing because over the past few seasons, usually our main characters are divided up into different groups, and I'm sure they'll still have their division, but it does seem like the main group of kids, 11, Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, they're all going to be together through the entirety of the season, for the most part. The article says there may be spin-offs, but the story of 11 and Dustin and Lucas and Hopper, their stories are done here. That's it. So I know they just name-dropped 4 characters there, but I assume that they were sort of referring to every character. They wouldn't just pinpoint individuals. They were kind of saying, like, our main group of kids, our main characters, their story ends here. However, we could have a spin-off set in the world of Stranger Things. That's what I think they'll do. Like, for example, House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. It's a prequel set years before. That's something they could do. They could even, go off the first Shadow play and have a prequel in the 50s or 40s, but I doubt we'll see a spin-off with Steve and Robin. That's just not likely. It's like everyone's going to want to move on from here. We're going to have finality with all the characters that we've established in this show. However, there can be a spin-off in the world of Stranger Things, and that seems like the smartest route, and that's honestly what they're probably going to do. So yeah, the Duffer Brothers have just about everything ready to go for filming of this final season of the show. Actors are in Atlanta, crew's in Atlanta, there are a ton of other set pics you can see online. One inside Hawkins High School that looks like there might be a Christmas time setting. In fact, I have a whole video talking about how this season could be Christmas themed. I'll put the link up above here. But there's a lot to look forward to. This has been a fun off-season. In fact, I'm kind of cherishing the fact that this is the last off-season of Stranger Things because after Season 5, there's no more until the spin-off shows, and we don't even know what those could possibly be. So we are gearing up for the final filming of a season of Stranger Things, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us. I have nothing but the utmost confidence in the Duffer Bros that they will stick the landing and satisfy most of the fans, including me, hopefully. So that does it for this quick update video. With filming starting in January, you can expect tons of update videos as we get more news about that. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. Be sure to hit that like button. It helps out more than you know. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers, and so you can be notified for all my future Stranger Things update videos and other videos in general. I talk movies and shows all the time, so check out some of my other content as well if you have not already. Go show some love to the Unusual Couple podcast for weekly episodes with myself and my girlfriend Cam. We have a blast with it over there. We talk Stranger Things, Marvel, and more. But that's going to do it. Thank you guys as always, and until next time, see you guys on the other side of the Upside Down.